Hi, I'm Hilarey Boly. Welcome to Wise Hearts Connect. Here we are today at Director's Park doing some face reading. Great. I'm a face reader. Would you like to have your face read? We're making YouTube videos. What's your name?
Winnie.
Winnie. Okay. All right. Well, Winnie, what a sweet face you have.
Thank you.
You have beautiful cheeks, which are suggestive of having a good sense of self-worth. And you also have very kind eyes. It's like your eyes smile just separately from the rest of your face even. You also have what we call the performer's chin, which is a little bit of a dimple in your chin. And that is suggestive of somebody who likes, feels comfortable, enjoys attention, being on stage. Do you have any kind of like theater or performing arts background? Yeah.
Yeah. I play music, I act.
Okay.
I do all that stuff.
You do all that and you love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's see here. What else? You're also a tactile person. Like it feels like you learn through doing things, like having your hands on things is like the better way for you to learn. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah. You also have a pretty rounded face, which would be suggestive of somebody who is trustworthy and also people tend to trust you. Do you find that?
I feel like that could be.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I just come back to your eyes. Like you have this, it's a sweetness in your eyes. Like, how do I put it? It's like, there's like a little fairy quality to your eyes that, yeah, it's charming and adorable.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. August. Okay. Well, you have a really beautiful philtrum also, this area here. Yours is, fortunate. Well, both of them, but yours is a little bit more pronounced in that it looks like it's a upside down V or like shaped like a mountain. And what that means is that as you get older, you come more into your creativity. You get more creativity as you get older.
That's cool.
Yeah. So kind of awesome. What kind of, I mean, obviously I feel like you look like a creative person.
Thanks.
But what tell me about your creativity.
I like writing and drawing and yeah, I don't know. I like doing mixed media stuff and like making collages and stuff like that.
Okay.
Poetry is good. I don't know. I kind of like to just do a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
It's not something I'm super focused on at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. All of these things are great ways to express it. Yeah. Awesome. Let's see here. You also look like you have a hardy physical constitution, like you're pretty strong. And then I would say, similar to Winnie, you probably learn through doing things, like having your hands on, like learning experientially. Would you say that that's true of you also?
Yeah, I'd say that's true. I don't know. I'm kind of like, some people call me a slow learner in some cases, and that's because it's hard just like being told how to do something. If I practice doing things again and again, that's really helpful for me.
Yeah, and I don't think I think that's a myth. I guess I'd say like a cultural or an academic fail.
Yeah.
Because actually the vast majority of people don't learn through being told.
Right.
And one can see that from a face reading perspective on the forehead. If you have a shorter forehead, it means that you're more of a physical, tactile person. You need to learn by doing. And if you have a large, wide, expansive, broad forehead, it means that you're interested in more like ideas and philosophizing and and it's not that there's anything like one isn't right and one isn't wrong. It doesn't mean that anybody is slow or quick. It just means that you receive information differently, and they're both important. I mean, in some cases, the problem with a person potentially who has a really large forehead is that they get too caught up, right? It's like maybe they have a hard time making things happen or bringing that information into a practical, usable skill, for example. And that is not your issue, but it's, you know what I mean? It's like one isn't better than the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
It also looks like you have pretty big eyes. Like your eyes are kind of like your most maybe prominent feature that kind of pop out, and that would be suggestive of a receptivity to life in general, an interest in like what's going on around you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say that's true.
And there's also a little bit of a downturnedness to that, which would be sort of, I guess I'd say like a little bit of a sorrowness for things that aren't the way that they would optimally be.
Yeah.
Like a sensitivity to potentially feeling others' pain or even experiencing some pain from what it is that you witness or see. Is there some of that?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. You have a beautiful lower lip, and that would be suggestive of an interest in being generous with people. Like, do you like to like cook for people? Or
I do. I love cooking for people, actually. That's really funny that you say that. Yeah, I've been cooking a lot more. I like cooking for my friends.
You like cooking? Yeah. And I'm sure that like it's a way that you, how do I say, you have this abundance within you that you want to share. And yeah, that's awesome.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. But do you have 5 minutes? Would you like your face read?
Can we walk and do it?
Yeah. I'm Hilarey, by the way.
Kenneth.
Good to see you. Can I see your eyes? Okay, thank you. Well, I guess the first thing that pops out from a face reading perspective is you have what my teacher calls your father's blessing.
Oh.
Meaning that your father, whether he was present in your life or not, whether it was your biological father or not, he had good wishes for you. He wished you well. He had your back on some energetic level. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yes. Can you say more about it?
Yeah, my dad was quite supportive, especially when he was quite upset when I left home, but I came to Portland from a long way, and he was happy when I graduated college here.
I bet, yeah.
And he came out to the graduation.
Awesome.
And we mutually supported each other because he ultimately passed away sort of early.
Uh-huh. Before his time?
Yeah, and I was able to go and bring him here for his last few days or weeks. And even as a young kid, my dad always urged me to follow in his footsteps.
Was he, how do I say, was life hard on you, especially as a kid?
No.
Okay, good. Yeah, all right.
In fact, my dad was a golfer. He was a semi-professional golfer. In his young life was trying to break into the pro ranks. For various reasons, it didn't work out. But yeah, he was always there.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's wonderful that you had such an extraordinary relationship with him. It sounds like, yeah, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
It also occurs to me that your eyes are pretty big, and that suggests that you take in life, that you, how do I say, you're receptive to visual information. I guess you're carrying around a camera also, but that you are interested, that the aperture called you is pretty wide open. Is that accurate?
That is accurate.
Yeah.
I've always been an observer, and not always on the outside, but I've always been interested in what's going on around me.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. How are you with decision making? Does it take you a little while to make a decision on something?
Depends on what I'm considering. You make decisions all the time that aren't
significant.
So
yeah. Well, when somebody's like, I don't know, like say you're offered a job or something, does it take you a little while to hum and haw and make the decision?
It didn't, because I generally knew what I was looking for, and I wasn't responding. I wasn't looking at just grabbing onto anything and everything.
Sure.
So
the net wasn't too wide that you cast.
No.
Yeah. Cool. You got pretty strong will also. Got a nice chin and nice square chin, meaning that you can push through things if you have to.
Yeah, I've had to push through a few things in my life, so I guess it comes with age. The chin is constantly being chiseled.
Chiseled, exactly. Yeah, yeah. And in terms of work, it seems like it's probably historically been more collaborative. Is that accurate in terms of what you've done professionally?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've worked in healthcare, I worked in the insurance business, and I worked in education. So
Pretty collaborative endeavors.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it also occurs to me that you're pretty generous.
some say yes, some say no. Generous with time. I'm generous where I have something to give.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't always have something to give, but when I can, I do.
Yeah. Good. Also, it looks like you're, from a face reading perspective, pretty comfortable with making, taking financial risks a little bit and physical risks.
Physical risk, yes. Financial, no.
Not so much.
No, never have.
Never have. Can I see your forehead? Do you mind taking your hat off?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Good. I guess the thought when I look at your forehead isn't that you're necessarily like a gigantic idea person, but you do have this ability to kind of take information and funnel it down. Would you agree? Like, so I mean, you talked a little bit about what you did. What was your degree in? What's your interest in study?
I study a lot of different things.
Okay.
But my degree is in economics and mathematics.
Okay.
So
That's like big ideas, numbers, and whole economies, right? Yeah. Interesting. Well, and then I guess along that line, you said that you are not a financial risk taker, but also if you have a background in economics, it seems like you would have some skills in that realm, like calculated risks.
yeah, but my skills in that area are old. I graduated college almost 45 years ago.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
So I'm retired. I haven't worked in over 10 years.
Okay, but you made, obviously then, if you're retired, then you've made some risks, or I don't know, taken some chances, and it's afforded you to retire, which is...
Yeah, I've taken some chances, but I wouldn't necessarily say they afforded me to retire.
Okay.
That's part of my risk-taking aspect. Let's say I retired and am fortunate. Not that I planned it that way. Not that I made calculated plans,
Okay.
you know.
It wasn't necessarily like intentional or conscious.
No.
Okay. 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 All right. Good.
But it's worked out.
But it's worked out. How about physical risks?
When I said physical risk, I guess I was referring to the fact that, for instance, people tell me that I am a bike rider.
Okay.
As people say, oh, you shouldn't be riding in the streets. You shouldn't be hanging on to buses. You shouldn't be riding at night. You know, shouldn't be going without a helmet, which I don't. But all of those things I have done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I've been quite reckless. Not that my recklessness contributed, but I've been hit on my bicycle twice.
Wow.
Neither was my fault.
Right.
I wasn't being...
Ridiculous. Yeah.
No. But many of my friends have told me that it's unnecessary risk.
I see. But you're, how do I say it? It feels like in that regard, like you have a physical comfort with your ability to maneuver through traffic or to get from point A. Like it's like you're embodied and you're confident in your physical prowess. And obviously in the case of traffic, my husband rides motorcycles, and I'm like, will you ride on a track, not on the street, or ride with a group of people, not by yourself, right? Because it's the other drivers, right? He's confident, but it's
Yeah, motorcycles I won't do. I've been riding bicycle for 50 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been continuously on a bike for 50 years.
Yeah.
So
You're comfortable. Yeah. And I suppose too, I'm just thinking about risks. And, you know, maybe it's not the best term, but moving to Oregon, it sounds like was kind of a big chance that you took, or something drew you here, like leaving your father's home or where you grew up was probably a little bit significant.
well, I came here not directly from home. I left home at 70, but I came to Oregon when I was 21 or so.
Okay.
But I was in the military in the interim.
Okay.
I had a number of stops.
Yeah, and
before I came here.
got to see lots of different places.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was still in my home state, living with an older sibling
Okay.
when I came here.
What, out of curiosity, was the attraction, or what drew you? What was the interest?
I met someone who was at Ohio State University who was from Oregon, and I was taking classes as well, but I felt like the odds of my completing my degree there were quite low. Mind you, this was in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
It was a different time period, a different social dynamic. And so I decided to get away from all the things that I knew because I felt like that would help me finish my college education. I decided to leave. But the reason I chose Oregon was because the person that I knew at Ohio State that was from Oregon always talked about how wonderful Oregon was. And I decided, well, hey, you know, I was in the Pacific Northwest when I was in the military for 1 week
For 1 week. Uh-huh.
in Fort Lewis, Washington,
Okay.
on the way to Vietnam.
Wow.
I remember laying out under the trees waiting to leave,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, wow, I've never seen trees like this because it's a different flora,
Okay.
you know, from the Midwest.
Mhm.
And we have a lot of oak trees and stuff like that in the Midwest, but pine trees and other trees that don't lose their leaves in the winter. I was like, wow, taking it all in. So after talking to this person, I was like, you know what? The Northwest might not be a bad idea because I did feel something when I was there, even though it was a long time ago and it was only for 1 week. I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
So sold everything and bought a plane ticket and flew out.
That's pretty radical. I mean, it's brave. It's, you know, I guess it's taking a risk on some level that she did with.
It was risky,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I wouldn't say I'm calculated.
No. I mean, it sounds like you had the visceral. I mean, it's interesting too. Like I said, as we talked about, your eyes are so big. It's like you take in these big impressions, right? And then you kind of chisel them down. And, you know, it's a calculated risk, obviously, but nonetheless, like, you know, leaving the Midwest and selling everything is I don't know, little brave thing to do, and adventurous. And I guess in your 21 is a good time to do it. But it also sounds like you've created a place for yourself here, and sounds like this is home.
But I'm calculating leaving here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you thinking of going?
I would like to go to either or both Suriname and Cabo Verde.
Uh-huh. Nice. Some sun?
Not so much sun, but just to experience the people.
Uh-huh. Another culture? Yeah.
The
Anything keeping you here?
lack of money.